7:00 p.m. We do have a quorum present, and we will call this meeting to order. If you would please pray with me as we begin. Holy Father God, we thank you for today, and we thank you for all that you richly blessed us with, Father, far beyond what we deserve. We pray that you be with us tonight as we make decisions regarding our school and our kids, and we pray that you keep them at our forefront, all the decisions that we make. Father God, we pray that you be with us and keep us safe in everything that we do and everything that our kids are involved in. Dear God, we pray that you forgive us where we fall short of your glory with our sin. It's in Christ's sweet and precious name that we pray. Amen. Mr. Ellaby, has anyone signed for the public forum?
No, sir.
Okay. Cardinal Spotlight.
We've got two groups here tonight. First group, we have a Cardinal Character Award that was started in the elementary. I'm not sure whose brainchild it was. I know it's the elementary teachers. I know it was ours because I don't have a lot of good ideas. But what they do is they recognize a 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade student every week for different traits. They're elected by their teachers. We have a couple of representatives here tonight. Those here tonight are Casey Maureen and Brody Thompson. They were recognized by their teachers as exhibiting cardinal character. Also chosen were Maverick Rios, Cielo Medina, Bentley Kirby, and Jaden Hyman. But Casey and Brody are here today. Yeah, I feel speeches ready. Just kidding. You don't have to give a speech. We just want to recognize you for exhibiting cardinal character traits. Second Cardinal Spotlight, Clarissa Rios. She's probably had a long day. She ran this morning. She's our regional cross country qualifier. Our lone runner ran at 11 this morning. They probably just hightailed it back to get here. Anything you want to say?
Say anything?
Just want to say thank you to everyone showing support, commenting on the Facebook post means a lot, and I see it all, and I'm just grateful for all the support y'all show.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys. They read the comments and all the posts all the way down there, so it really does. It means a lot. Thank you guys.
I know it's hard to run cross country your senior year and do it by yourself. I don't look like it, but I ran cross country. I wasn't very good. But thank y'all. Thank y'all for being this month's Cardinal Spotlight. Being here tonight. You don't have to stick around. I know you're tired, but you don't have to stay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
That's your take.
Yes, sir.
Proud of you. Good job, bro. Proud of you. Good job, bro.
She's going first.
He didn't even look at Mr. Ellaby. Superintendent's report.
Enrollment and attendance. Attendance dropped 3 students from last time. I think one went homeschool, one went back to Snyder, and another one
Went back to Snyder as well.
went back to Snyder. So we're at 268, which is 12 above this time last year, and our attendance percentage is also higher. We're sitting at 97+%, which is really good. We hope to keep it there. 95 is our goal, and being at 97, we're just counting on that to help us out financially as well. Next page, monthly financial report. Didn't have one last month because didn't have expenditures yet. This just shows where we are at currently. It's still really early, and it's compared also to last year's this time. November board meeting date, looks like the 17th is the 3rd Monday of the month. doesn't fall in Thanksgiving breaks. We'll talk about our ESL program evaluation, which is another mandate, but we'll do that during the discussion. That's all for the superintendent's report.
Thanks, sir. Principal's report.
Okay, so last time I talked about, we were preparing for teacher incentive allotment. I went to the Region Center last week. We are beginning that process. It'll take us a year to build our plan. Good thing about that, 5 years ago, nobody really knew what to do. Now they've kind of given us the guide. The main thing through teacher incentive allotment is teacher evaluations, student growth, put in this big formula, and then the higher end teacher will get more money. So it starts at, I believe, $5,000, then there's a $7,000, $14,000, then a $21,000. So a teacher could get $21,000 per year for up to 5 years. So they can qualify for that. It's a lot. It's really nothing more than what we're doing, because we're already doing evaluations and we're already doing MAPS testing. It's just, we gotta put it into this formula and make sure all of our T's are crossed, I's are dotted. But I'm going to the Region Center and they're helping us walk through that, so it'll take us a couple years to get through that process, but hopefully it can get our teachers more money. The state has come out and said this is gonna be kind of the only way they give teacher raises. I wish they would just give the teachers the money without having to jump through all these hoops, but we know the state's not that easy to work with. So, but we're working through that. I'm sure there'll be some things that y'all have to vote on as we go through that, but nothing right now, just gathering information for it. Working on teacher observations. We're probably a third of the way through with those. And that's just me going in and observing one lesson, 45 minutes, talking to teachers about things we did good, things that we need to change. The Region Center, we have had them coming out, kind of doing some observations, talking to teachers, talking to us about ways we can help our teachers. So it is not their observation, what they say, because they've said things to me and I go, no, we're not changing that. But they have come up with some good things to help our teachers. So it's to support our teachers and make our teachers better. We all know, and you know, our STAR scores aren't what they need to be. So to get better, we've got to be uncomfortable and we've got to try to make those, have some conversations to see what we can do to make our teachers better. So it's been, it's not comfortable, but I think it's what we need to do as the next step to push our teachers. And they've been receptive. You know, nobody likes people coming in your classrooms like that, but we've got to be able to have that and help our teachers. Because through that, we're going to say, okay, well, we need some help on this. Okay, well, let's get some training in there. So it's just a process we're going through. I think it's what's best for our teachers and it's what's best for our kids. So it's more work on me, but I think it's going to help our teachers more, to help our kids. So that's all the principal's report.
Athletic report.
Start with girls basketball. Technically starts on Wednesday. That's junior high and high school. And then so that's after they've been going during the period, but it starts full go on Wednesday. Just talked to Clarissa. Competed at regionals. That was in Arlington. New course than there was last year. About 200 kids competed in that today, so there was a whole lot. Football, junior high is 3-3, varsity is 5-2, JV 1-4. It's been really good. I mean, the kids have been fantastic. Tons of buy-in. Been a lot of fun. Homecoming was last week. That was a long week. It was great. Started with tailgate. That was on Tuesday. Miss Howe put that on, and it was a fantastic turnout. Bonfire was on Thursday. It was great. Junior high went to Rotan. We hosted Garden City here. Just our people make things work for the best interest of our kids. It's really good. Ranks was crowned king, Clarissa queen at that homecoming. It was really special to see that. Cheer has been doing really, really awesome pep rallies, and their in-game stuff has been great. They're kind of incorporating some of the stuff that they're doing for competition during the pep rallies and during the games, and so they'll go to competition in January. I think it's the 3rd weekend of January. That's all I got.
Operations report.
We had the water well go down, so we had to replace, we didn't, we had, yeah, twice. We actually ended up having to put a new pump and motor in that 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. Then I met with a couple of contractors to walk through the property that we, got to get the remodel going on that. I guess you guys will probably see that a little later on. We had the guys from Target Solutions out last week, I believe it was last Tuesday, to do a water test over here to try to help us figure out where the water was coming in. They did have success, found that the parapet wall where it meets the panels, the wall panels, right now they kind of have just a mound of caulk, which is what everybody's kind of done to it over the years. But there's no way to terminate the actual protection in there without removing some of those wall panels to get back there to actually terminate that, to install the proper way. So they did make a small repair. They want to kind of watch it to see if that does fix the problem before they actually come up with a solution on the repairs. So hopefully in the next couple weeks we'll know if that's all of it. They did get quite a bit of water to come in all the way down that wall where we've had issues. So hopefully that'll get that fixed to where we can stop that problem that we've been having forever, I guess.
For a thing.
And then outside of that, I mean, we're just the normal maintenance things, mowing and cleaning things, fixing things, so. Other than we, Hellas was here and they made repairs to the playground turf or underneath the padding that we were having issues with. So they were here all last week and then they worked on it yesterday, or a little bit through the weekend, and then finished it up today. And then now they've started on the football field, making some repairs over there that we've had concerns about since that's been put in, so.
Is this part of the warranty?
Yes, sir.
The playground feels a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, we all walked through it.
So it's got that padding, and I guess when they put it in, they just left 2-inch gaps everywhere between those 4-foot sections, and you could walk and feel it. So they peeled all that up and fixed it, fixed some edges, and then that last day we walked through, there was one more section that they didn't want to fix, but we said we weren't signing off until they fixed it. So they worked on Saturday, they peeled that up, patched it, and it's better. It's at least got padding in it.
Yeah, so.
That's it for.
Okay. Counseling report.
We, 11th and 12th graders went to the WTC College Fair. That was a success. Ms. Anderson and I made them at least bring information back from 3 colleges, so they did get out there and visit with those colleges. I have attended the district testing coordinators training that's in Abilene through the service center. So at some point before spring testing, I will be training the staff on testing. We started UIL practices for elementary and junior highs. That's going good. The Chad Cargyle ACT workshop was good. We had several juniors go to that. They all seemed to get something out of it. The PSAT, all 10th and 11th graders, we had to group them different based on their accommodations and things this year. But we've got all them tested. Lincoln Tech presentation for 11th and 12th grade was good. They have, the guy comes from Lubbock, but I think it's Dallas area where their school is. Tomorrow, juniors were taking to TSTC in Abilene to tour that campus. And then, And also tomorrow's our FAFSA family night. It's not really at night, we'll start at 4. The lady that comes in is from Amarillo, so she likes to get home before midnight. So I did mention to all seniors today, if they haven't filled out their FAFSA yet, which I've only had 2 show me that they have, that they need to come to that. Balfour will be here Wednesday to, do letter jackets and patches for those kids that need it, caps and gowns for seniors, and class rings for juniors. I will give the ASVAB to the juniors on Thursday. The Rotary Club has started, once a month, awarding, or recognizing a student from each local school. So 1 week, they recognize a Snyder student and feed them lunch. 1 week is Ira, 1 week is Hermleigh. So, this week is we're up, and I sent out a Google form to all the high school secondary teachers to vote on a senior that they wanted to recommend for senior of the month. And this month is Clarissa. So she will be going to eat with the Rotary Club, Thursday. Her parents are gonna join her, and Mrs. Smith is going to join her as well. And so we'll do that once a month. Texas Tech tour for 9th grade is coming up on the 29th, and the ASU tour for 10th grade, it was November 19th, I've moved it up a week to November 12th. That's it.
Alrighty, ag report.
So, I've got what has previously happened. I got news, I guess it was either last week or the week before, that Levi Gibson and Peyton Northcutt are selected from Hermleigh's chapter to represent on the junior board for the Scurry Livestock Association. So what that means is they'll help out. We have our normal board with our representatives, and then we have our junior board, so they'll just help out at the White Buffalo Blowout, opening gates, doing whatever they need to, and then they will also help out at the county show, helping out wherever they can, whenever the adults can't. They'll just fill in the spots that need to be filled. Tomorrow we have lamb and goat validation at 5 o'clock at Ira, at the old ag shop. And so we have let's see, 3 families that have lambs and or goats, so we'll see them tomorrow and do the rest of the county tomorrow. Then we have October 27th, I'll have my stock show entry night, where we get all of the families signed up for county and or majors. That'll be a very busy, heavy paperwork night. No one looks forward to that night, but it has to be done. And then November 1st and 2nd, we have our White Buffalo Blowout Jackpot in Snyder. A lot of our kiddos go to that, and so it's good first show for most of them. And then rounding it out, LDEs, November 11th, we have our district contest, and I'm right now planning on taking about 3 teams and a couple individual speakers, so look forward to that.
Alrighty, thank y'all. Alright, next on the agenda is the annual announcement of continuing education for board members. Under the State Board of Education rule, completing required continuing education each year of service is a basic obligation and expectation of any sitting board member. As board president, I am required to announce the name of each member who has completed, exceeded, and are deficient in meeting the requirement of continuing education. The requirements for training are measured as of the first anniversary of the date of the trustee's election or appointment, or 2-year anniversary of their previous training as applicable. The following are training areas for board members' continuing education: the Public Information Act, the Open Meetings Act, local district orientation, orientation to the Texas Education Code, post-legislative update to the Texas Education Code, cybersecurity, team building, additional continuing education, evaluating and improving student outcomes, identifying and reporting abuse, trafficking, and other maltreatment of children, and school safety. To the extent applicable to each board member, I will announce the completion or deficiency as to the required training. For members who still have time remaining to complete required training, I'll announce those board members who have scheduled timely training and those who have not yet scheduled the training. At the conclusion of this announcement, I will announce any board members' training in excess of the continuing education requirement. So for Public Information Act, all members have completed the Public Information Act training. For the Open Meetings Act, all members have completed the Open Meeting Act training. For local district orientation, all members have completed the local district orientation training. Orientation to the Texas Education Code, all members have completed that orientation to the Texas Education Code. Cybersecurity, all members have completed the annual cybersecurity training. Post-legislative update, which is biennially, all members have completed the post-legislative update training. Team building, which is 3 hours every year, all members have completed the team building training. Evaluating and improving student outcomes, which is also 3 hours biennially, all members have completed the biennial ISO training. Identifying and reporting abuse, 1 hour biennial. The following members are deficient in meeting the identifying and reporting abuse training. That would be Mr. Gerald Rodriguez. All others have completed. School safety, 2 hours biennially. The following members are deficient in meeting the school safety training. Mr. Gerald Rodriguez. All others have completed the school safety training. Continuing education, 10 hours for the first year and 5 hours for subsequent years. All members have completed their required continuing education training. Next up on our agenda is the Hermleigh ISD ESL program evaluation.
This is another required announcement for yearly for our ESL program. Hermleigh ISD currently has 6 students in grades pre-K through 12 being served in ESL for 25-26. 1 student has met the requirements to exit the ESL program and will enter their first year of academic monitoring. 2 students will enter their second year of academic monitoring. 1 student graduated from Hermleigh ISD and is currently attending Western Texas College. We deliver content-based language instruction and supplemental English language support. Hermleigh ISD currently has 11 certified ESL teachers. Certified core subject teachers implement English language proficiency standards into the curriculum. 1 teacher attempted the ESL supplemental certification but was not successful. The number of teachers for whom a waiver is being filed for the 25-26 school year is 1. The frequency and scope of the comprehensive professional development plan is a one-time training at the ESC Region 14 Service Center, along with an online ELPS Academy and ELPS implementation courses for core subjects. TELPAS results for spring 2025, 10 students. 1 student received an advanced high rating, 4 students received advanced ratings, 3 students received intermediate ratings, and 2 students received beginning ratings. TELPAS results were mailed home to parents. Hermleigh will have 1 district campus testing coordinator to assess TELPAS. 2025 STAR reading results. 8 students participated in the spring 2025 STAR Reading English 1 assessment. 6 students met passing standards. 2 students did not meet passing standards. 2 students were enrolled in non-tested grades, 2nd and 12th. And that is our ESL program evaluation.
Next on our agenda is to discuss potential May bond election projects and amounts for RFQ.
you wanna talk about our phone call the other day, or
Sure.
you want me to do it? We've had, reached out to a lot of different companies about being an independent owner's rep, which is required by law, doing a design build, procurement. And the one that we were working with, the proposal that I'd given y'all back in the spring was $5,000 to represent us. But that included a lot of things we had already done. And to choose an independent owner's rep now would require sticking with the same said person throughout and afterwards. The final proposal bill that I got was $120,000, and about $80,000 of that was travel. So Kevin and I called, we called an attorney the other day to work out a different plan for not having to spend that much money. So what we did is we sent out a request for qualifications on Monday, and it's open through the 31st. I sent it out to 4 different firms. They may all respond, one or none. But what that does is gets us from needing an upfront independent owner's design rep. This request for services is just for bond planning and support that may or may not even have a price. So at the November meeting, whatever responses we get for bond planning and preparation will be presented to you guys for selection.
I do want to continue in what you had to say regarding their fees that we had talked about. So out of the 120 to 130,000 in their fee, 80,000 of that was travel. They had chosen the person that would be coming to Hermleigh. They were coming out of El Paso, and Mr. Ellerby and myself said, no, there's gotta be some architects that are closer than that. There's gotta be some other way to do that. So we are actually reaching out to some folks in Abilene, Lubbock, etc., trying to see if we can get that a lot closer to home and a whole lot less expense.
Is that the same people that were here last time?
No,
That's different.
no. You're talking about design build group. This would be independent owner's rep, which is different. By law, we are required to have an independent architect that works for us, separate and apart from whomever we hire for design build. And it's a way by law, for us to keep our design build group in check. However, it's still cheaper than going the construction management agent route.
As they said, but you would pay up to 10% of your bond for an architect, and also up to 10% of your bond for your construction management. So if you passed a $10 million bond, 20 million of that goes out the door, not out the door, but it goes directly to your architect and your,
On a $10 million bond, it would be 200,000. Yes, it goes completely straight out.
Mr. Fonte sent this to me this afternoon. It is different funds, different amounts and terms and rates, potentially for whatever the board wants to potentially look at. He went from 20 years to 10 years, different amounts, different interest rates. Obviously, the lower interest rate is for a shorter term, as well as what that would cost. So for instance, if you did a 10-year, $3 million bond, the interest rate would be 11 cents. 10-year, $5 million would be roughly 16 cents. You go up to 20 years and the interest rate's a little higher, but the INS rate's a little lower. The increase, decrease change is not based on this current year, but last year when it was at 12 cents. So that shows the amount, the year, the rate it would take, how much would end up being paid with interest, for different amounts.
Do you have anything else on this, Mr. Elwood?
Nothing unless you wanna discuss potential projects, kind of what you have in mind as far as the amount and term.
I think we're all seeing that the shorter the term, the better the interest rate, and the lesser amount of interest paid.
You kinda need to look too at what you're going to raise your tax rate.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that would be this column here.
yeah, I'm not seeing good tonight, where, I mean, like our last bond was 20-year, what was it, 11, 12 cents?
It ended, what did it start with? It ended up being 12.4.
12,
Yeah.
4.
It started at.
I was great until I was
Or that's it when you're not here.
But your rates depend on your property values. Obviously, the higher your property values, the more that rate generates. And like they said in that training, you can't set your rate higher than what it takes to collect for that bond.
Yeah.
Without a.
And currently our INS rate for this year is at 0,
Yes.
Yes,
so.
and the taxes show it, we have our tax rate, so,
Yes.
I mean, pretty good decrease.
Command plus, Mr. Conley.
We're the cheapest in the county right now. By the way. Tax. Yeah, that's better. Old man over there, you gotta get it big.
Your glasses are right there on
That's from close. That's from close, not far away.
These are for the little stuff. I need to go to the doctor for these.
I'm gonna try mine, that may work.
Yeah, it might work.
The other thing to remember too is that whenever we talk about project fund amounts, that doesn't mean the amount that we have to spend on projects. That also includes fees, etc. So
Well, yeah.
we'll have our design build group fees, and we'll have other prorated fees depending upon how big the project is.
Yeah, but that's kind of a minor situation. Wanna talk about a few of the projects that's
Yes, sir.
really big necessities around here?
Mhm.
Of course, the two big ones is your softball and baseball field. And I don't understand, you can explain the elementary bathrooms?
Yeah, they're just, I mean, you go to the girls' restroom, there's three commodes for, 100 kids to go, or 2 or 3 classes to go at the same time.
Wow.
And the same thing in the boys, you have 1 commode and 2 urinals.
Yeah.
They're just way undersized.
And we think there's enough room there, just moving the wall out and kind of
Adding-
redoing some, but it's okay during the class when you have 1 or 2 kids go, but when you bring a class of 18, 20, you got 10 boys and they got 1 commode,
They're gonna wait in line.
there's a wait, and that's when you start having accidents. Good, yeah. So, not saying we gotta have 10 commodes in there, but.
Or behavior issues.
Okay.
Another one is the junior high and high school bathroom down the other hallway that is currently combined.
It's a similar issue.
Similar issue.
120 kids during a 5-minute passing period.
But they're all having to come to this end of the building
Yes.
when their classrooms are at the opposite end of the building.
So something that we would want our design build group to look into would be possible locations for another bathroom. And then with taking that location, what do we do with the classroom that was in that location? It's not like we have spare classrooms that are floating around, so. And then still try to keep that project fund amount down.
Yeah, that bathroom, that's,
Then we also have our maintenance issues.
yeah.
Air conditioners are starting to give up the ghost. Some are doing well, some are on their last leg.
The gym paneling for sure.
Gym paneling, yes,
Yeah,
is another issue.
you know, we got 400,000 out of the lawsuit, but I guess didn't get spent on even knowing what was going on.
The gym roof got replaced. It's just those side panels.
But, you know, the suit was fix the leak.
Yeah.
And that was the
I
major.
think everybody was doing that.
I mean, they've repaired the roof several times, they just never fixed it.
Well,
I think that's part of the problem is because it just wasn't fixing it.
No, they repaired that.
That's what I said.
They repaired that.
Well, what I saw the other day with a garden hose, I didn't see where they put it, but it's coming in there pretty fast.
Mhm.
If we don't get it fixed, they're gonna replace that gym floor.
Yeah, that's gonna be, what,
Yeah.
300,000?
It'll probably be at least 500,000 at this point.
Yeah. Tariffs.
And been fixed in 2011, it sure ain't gonna get fixed now. If they keep leaking, you know, that gymnasium. It's a bad design.
But it can be fixed.
I get
Everything can be fixed. I just gotta get it.
30 years.
For the right amount of money.
You know,
And the right people.
And the right people. People
I
that
think
do it right.
everybody just wants to
And
get a
have a
piece of
warranty.
pie.
Warranty with
That's
it
all it
too,
is.
like,
Mhm.
that's a big deal.
Yeah, it can be.
I think holding the people accountable has been the lack of why we're in this situation. So,
Well, had a lot of turnover around here, so when you got turnover, it just gets passed down the road.
Yeah.
Cause they don't know about it.
You know, Joe, several years, a decade ago, I was standing in the gym when Mr. Rotan met with the architect and the construction guy that built it. And they both pointed the finger right at each other's nose and said, it's your fault. And that seems like it's been,
It's been that way ever since.
yeah, Mr. Rotan said, well, one of you's gotta fix it. And they said, well, it's his fault. And he said, I'm standing there listening to him.
Yeah.
Coach, tell the story about the gym floor.
Yeah, I went in there. I went in there after, I don't know, it was probably 12 years ago, and I walked in the gym and it looked like a skate park. That I'd never seen a gym floor 2 feet high in my life. It was just buckled, and I was like, I called Mr. Rotan. I said, Mr. Rotan, you ain't gonna believe what this looks like. We got a leak somewhere. And he called I don't remember where the people were from. Somebody that does hardwood floors, the gym floors, and they came out. They were within an hour. It just happened to be. They came and they cut about an inch off the end of it, off the west end of it. And the guy said, I promise you in the morning that thing will be laid down normal. I said, there ain't no way. I've never seen something like this before. And I'd been coaching a long time at that point, and I'd never seen it. Came in the next day, it looked like nothing happened.
Really?
He said it'll dry out and it'll lay back down.
Right back down.
But what it did is it cupped every board
Yeah.
from about the free throw line, because the water got back to the free throw line.
Pretty good line.
And so it's just been, you know, water used to just run down that plaque where you guys' names are on the plaque that built the school.
Yeah.
I came in one day, water, just a waterfall, just running down it.
I mean, it was, the other day when we come in, that's just a garden hose.
The problem is though, it leaks in my classroom, it leaks, you know, it's not just that spot. It
Yeah.
runs all the way down to,
Runs all the way down.
Yeah, I always have, after it rains, there'll be 2 or 3 tiles in my classroom that have fallen on the floor. They've fallen in the, server room here. It just runs every direction on purling, I guess, or something that it can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Easiest part is this door.
Guys, the only way we're gonna fix this is to propose a bond. We don't have the money, unless you wanna go get the foundation. I don't think a lot of people wanna do that. It's pretty good safety net. I know a lot of people don't like bonds. Bonds are hard to pass in this country. Snyder's having lots of complaints.
What was the attitude 16 years ago? When, did you go door to door?
Yeah, a lot of questions, and I answered a few, and Mr. Rotan, I said, write the questions out for me, I'll take it and get an answer for it. And I'd go back and tell them. And I went to some hard-headed guys, and I think they voted for it.
Because from what I remember, it passed pretty easily.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It is.
I know that was 15 years ago. I didn't know
Yeah,
how y'all went about back then. I didn't know if it was a big ordeal like that lady presented the other day, or what you did back then to
Well,
present
they
that.
had presentations at the old school, and the contractors showed problems, and they went through, and then we met, and then, you know, they nominated a committee to go to the public, and I was on that committee. But we had one guy, Mr. Rotan, he called him and just chewed him out one way and the other. And Rotan calls me and he said, "You're coming tonight, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be there." I said, "Good, because this guy he is vicious." And toured the school, he was the first one to speak. He said, "I hated to talk of the bond, I hated had to spend to use school, but you guys need it in the worst way." So that was a plus to get a guy like that
On board.
on board. But I went, it's kinda like running for commissioner, I went to bust out.
It worked.
I guess, I don't know. Worked at it.
Especially with people that.
How does the Homestead Act work for people that are, will you explain that to me?
So the Homestead Act, you claim your homestead, it's different for people who live in town versus people who live out in the country. Let's say you live on a farm, say you're on 160 acres. They usually carve out your house and some acreage that becomes your homestead,
I think it's
not
100
the whole
acres.
farm.
It's 100 acres, I think.
100 acres max. And then they homestead that, so you get the exemption on that. So it reduces the value of your homestead, or at least the value that you'll be taxed upon for that. Now,
140,000.
right. Now, if you're over 65, you get the homestead exemption plus the senior exemption.
Okay.
So that can go up to 200,000 for the valuation.
So basically, $140,000 home, you won't pay taxes.
Right. Was
But
that,
you've got to be living in it.
was that in existence, was that in existence in 2010? No, so that's something that's.
I think it's 100,000.
Well, no, it started out at 40,000.
Oh, okay.
It was 40,000 back then.
Well, it's
It
like-
went in,
Okay, so
like a couple years ago, it went to
What-
100, and now this year it went to 100.
So when we did this bond,
Yeah, it's
it's like
way
$40,000.
Yeah, that's
But that only applies where you live. If you own a second
Ranch
house,
land or something.
well, a second house or ranch land or something like that, let's say you own a second house and you're leasing it out to Coach Winters. He doesn't get that.
Pay taxes.
He pays tax.
And they have to have that paperwork filed, correct?
Yes. But if people are not taking advantage of the Homestead Act, the homestead exemption, they should be.
Right.
They should be. Yes, farmland with no home, ranch land, no home. A lot of it falls back to how the deeds were written on the property.
Sure.
So, I know our house, I think, is our house, and 3 acres is our homestead. And then the remainder acreage that we have is not homestead.
Is that something that you think that the people that would be voting on this know about? Is it pretty familiar with?
I think that there's always room for education.
Right.
It's hard to say who does know and who doesn't know.
Right. Thank you for explaining that.
How does that apply to people that live in Hermleigh? Cause it's not the city, right? I mean, we're not a city, so anyone that lives in Hermleigh can technically do that, correct?
Yes. And even if we were a city, there would be city taxes that they would also get to apply that Homestead Act to. So it not only applies to your school taxes, it applies to others as well. Reducing your tax bill. Even with a 12 or 13 cent INS tax, we would be where we were last year. And the highest that we have been in the most recent years was about $1.29. Currently, we're at 66 cents, so we're half that. With the INS rate that we had last year, that would put us at, if I'm not mistaken, 89?
72.
72? Okay.
I think so. I don't have my sheet in front of me, but
Right.
I believe last
Back in the
You're
old,
correct.
you had to pay, like, when you bought a truck or RV or a boat and all that, remember? You had to pay personal taxes.
Tractors.
That's where that bond planning team comes in, that's where they help you do the
Right.
messaging,
Yeah.
community meetings, surveys.
You talk to those people.
77 right now. You got mine.
But it
There was personal taxes back then, or you bought a travel trailer, you bought a boat, you
Yeah,
bought
the
a new
taxes.
pickup, you had to pay taxes.
Everybody started hiding.
Oh, yeah. You buy a new boat, travel trailer, or truck, or tractor, you had to pay personal taxes to the school district.
To answer your question, Coach Gibson, I think the biggest piece of misinformation is not about Homestead Act or tax exemptions. I think the biggest piece of misinformation out there is actually how recapture works.
Right.
And the fact that local tax money is leaving Scurry
The
County
district, yeah.
and being sent elsewhere.
Mhm.
We're able to collect, the state basically says, here's how much you're allowed to run your school.
Yeah. they said-
Yet we collect a little bit more than double that. And they say, well, you're not allowed to have that, so we're gonna take that from you. Well, the school can't do anything about it.
Right.
Because it's a law.
We claim less.
We could claim less, but that also affects our income coming in. So,
The only way to get out is lower property values or more kids.
Yeah.
but if we're going to continue to maintain the facilities that we have, continue to try to correct some of the mistakes that were made 15, 16 years ago when the building was built. And I do believe that with the right people and the right inspectors that are looking at the work that's been done, I think we can possibly and probably stop our roof leak.
Yeah. I think so too.
Something else that wasn't mentioned, we do have an ever-aging bus fleet. And we need to upgrade those. I mean, we did vote not to put seatbelts in them because that was cost prohibitive. But we do need to replace those. We're not talking about a $200 million. We're not talking about $200 million bond.
Oh, no.
We're talking about something of 10 million or less.
Yeah. 10 million less.
You know, you were talking about doing your bathrooms and all, that's good and everything, but the more kids you take, the more you're gonna have to do to the school.
Agreed,
And you ain't gonna have enough where you're gonna build what you're gonna do.
but we still have,
I mean, I'm saying that, you know, right now you got 120 kids going to the bathroom What happens when you have 200 kids going to the bathroom?
We can't have two.
We
You know,
can't.
what happens to a small school?
You
know?
turn 11.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Go
know,
on two
I'm
acres.
just saying.
We
Well-
don't have
Cause the
one.
school only bought, what, 20 acres or 40 acres? 40 acres, not 20 acres.
Yes, I don't remember.
Cause it was 80 acres that Tom Henry had out there.
Yeah. About half of it.
Half of it, 40 acres.
Yeah,
They should have bought the whole 80 acres if you wanted to kept building on to it, you know,
yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
But only bought 40 acres. The other 40 acres is back to the east there.
But we're not talking about doing those bathrooms
Yeah.
to accommodate more kids. We're talking about doing the bathroom work to accommodate the kids that we have now.
Yeah, but if you get more kids, you're gonna have more bigger classrooms and more teachers. and-
But then you also jump out of a 1A school into a
Yeah,
2A
you're
school,
gonna jump
jump
into
from
a
6-man to 11-man.
Yeah. They did that before over there, and that was a big mistake. You know, Bailey was over there, number 2 years over there, cause he wanted more kids, go 11 man,
Yeah.
more money, and that didn't work out. When Bailey was out here, or with the old school.
I think the biggest problem to get it to pass right now is if the first thing you go and say, softball, baseball field. That's gonna be a big problem, you know? So, I think we can, I know that needs to be upgraded to a point, but I think there's other things in the school that need, you know, like ag. We could extend the ag, we could do a greenhouse build to where everybody in the school could use it. I mean, there's a lot of things that aren't looked at, but if you're just gonna go push a bond and say, first thing we're gonna do is upgrade the fields, people's gonna be like, I don't know.
You know, going back to when we sued that, for that roof, we got $1 million and I think the lawyers got 600 and we got 400. What we did with that, I think we did that track, $350,000 with that kind of money.
Track costs $840.
I think it was 360 or 350 just to track that time.
That was the original.
What's in there?
That was the-
Whenever when we did that track that time that they all came out here, the people, and wanted that track field fixed.
That was the
Probably
original.
during the pandemic or something like that.
Right, it was right
That was
after.
it, during that
I
2020.
think that 350 was the original cost,
Yeah,
and then when they pulled it,
they found more in there,
It
and we
was
had to go in there.
the
and-
foundation.
the dirt work, and they say, well, we can't fix it for this much, we're gonna have to have more, cause that's soil and all that.
Correct.
And when it's-
They never did this, they didn't do the soil sample where the track was, they used the same soil sample of where the football or.
It was
something.
all the spots.
Yeah, the
and
school
stuff.
was.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
I
gotta
know
provide
those,
people a place to make all those adjustments.
the softball and baseball fields, I do know we need restrooms out there.
Yeah.
Possibly a concession stand out there. I mean, I don't know. Honestly. I
There's a
don't
lot
know.
of projects, but we need to focus on what's best for our kids first
Right.
and, take care of those needs as our primary objective. And then from there, we can take care of other things, whether it be turf here, there, fixing, replacing, what needs to be done.
Do we need to set up a committee, make a list of what we need?
That's what these companies that I sent to, that's what they'll do. They'll start that.
Consulting and.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a start, right there,
So we'll have that by the next meeting.
next meeting. Yeah, that'd be a start to get this thing going.
Will that include, is that just stuff that's here now or anything in the future? You know, like she said, the bathrooms or something out there, will that include that, or is that just stuff that we can do here?
They'll include whatever.
We do a full assessment.
I would, me personally, I would like to ask them for a 5, 10, and 15-year assessment. Let's look down the road. Let's see what we're gonna need down the road.
Yeah, it's like,
Let's not knee-jerk react. Let's plan for the future.
yeah, yeah.
And things are going up every day too.
Yes.
So $1 million could be today.
I was talking to another, school board president 2 weeks ago, and he told me, he said, we're going out for a bond. And I said, okay, and he said, we tried to go out for the exact same bond 4 years ago. And he said, the difference in cost from 4 years ago to now, he said, is double.
Yeah.
It's double.
Yeah, easy.
So,
2011, Snyder built that cafeteria on their high school. They paid $17,000 or $17 million for that cafeteria alone. Today, if you was to build that cafeteria, it's close to $40 million for the exact same, just alike. So from 2011 to now, that's how much everything's gone up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, their bond that they are proposing is the low end.
yeah, they've cut it down from $460 million to
They were looking
170.
at build a whole new high school at 450 million. And they took, brought it down
And
to
that's-
repair the old school.
Yeah, that's the high school and additions to some of the other schools. Are making some changes on some of the other schools too, to help with security.
that's the reason that we would like to ask our design build group for a 5, 10, and 15 year. We're gonna reach the point in those 3 levels of finding out what is necessary right now and what would be nice to have in the future. Those nice to haves probably won't get funded by a bond, at least not right now. So, but the things that are uncovered that we do need to take care of now need to be fixed now. I think a prime example is our gym floor, and the water leak. Here we are 15, 16 years into the same process of still having the same water leak. And how many times have we repaired the gym floor, gentlemen?
A redo, sand, all that, the one time, I think it was 26, a little over 26,000.
I don't even know if it can be
And I
sanded again.
don't think, they said you cannot sand it again. We're at that level.
So
But
you
they're
have
not
to
doing
replace the whole one?
Sir?
They would have to put new hardwood and everything down.
It would be a whole,
It would have to be the next one, because it's probably already at its minimum.
yeah, when they did it,
Requirement that it has
he
to-
said, because of the damage that was on it or whatever, that it was at the minimal rate or whatever.
But it makes no sense whatsoever to go in and replace the gym floor when we still have a leak. Let's go fix the problem first, and then fix whatever else happens in the process. So,
Well, and this kind of bond that we're looking at, you don't do everything in 1 year.
mhm.
You do so much, you could fix the roof, make sure we got it not leaking, and then you do your gym floor 2 years down the road, or, where it's fixed. That's what Snyder's looking at now, it's not several years down the road.
Yeah, it's a 2 to 5 year project. over
Yeah, I
the
don't know
next
how
2
many
to
years
5
it
years.
is.
And there's a 5-year limitation. Once the
So
bond
you gotta do
lets,
5 years.
you've got 5 years to spend the money. At the end of that 5 years, if it's not spent, you're done.
Yeah.
Take whatever's left over and fold it back into the payments. But I think that's also where this group needs to pay real close attention. We need to pay close attention to the fact of what can we accomplish in 5 years, so that we're not sitting there left holding a bag, and we're not paying interest on money that we're not gonna use. That's foolish. We need to be wise in the decisions we're making. Any other comments, questions, concerns, complaints? Items of observation? All right, let's move along to our action items. First up will be consider and take possible action on the approval of the board minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the board minutes from September the 15th, 2025. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Next up, consider and take possible action on the approval of payment of bills and investment report.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the payment of bills and the investment report. Is there any further discussion, questions regarding expenses? All in favor? 7-0. All right, next up is to consider and take possible action on the approval of budget amendments.
This is an easy one. When I was making the budget for this year, because we had to have it done before the end of August, we had one more check slip through on the maintenance note. It was for a round of chairs. He's just been taking a trailer full at a time. And so we had budgeted $50,949 that was left in the maintenance note. Well, that needs to be less $2,160 so that we have our books right in this year. That's all.
I'll make a motion.
Bridget?
No, that's.
That was Casey, I'm sorry. I hear, but I don't hear accurately.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve budget amendments as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Okay, next item is to consider and take possible action on the approval of house remodel bids.
Right now, the foundation's pledged $70,000 towards this, and then these two go a little higher. Jerry got 3 different guys to come out. One of them couldn't get to them, so this is why there's 2 here. Jerry, you wanna kinda talk about the highlights?
Yeah, so the one for, JCR, he kinda gave us 3 different quotes. One for all the exterior and interior repairs, then one for the fence, around the property, and then one for the roof. And then wall construction actually included everything on the one invoice, so that's why, it looks like that. JCR's invoice has repairs to the siding, but wall is actually gonna replace all the siding. They're gonna put a metal roof on the property, and then, the fence and all those things. So wall construction actually came in under, with doing a little bit more work, for a little cheaper, so. But it'll be a complete, total remodel, interior, exterior, you'll rip out sheetrock, cabinets, everything. It'll be a full.
What, did the bid include carpet or?
So laminate flooring through the whole house, laminate flooring in the whole house.
Laminate.
Yes, sir.
So that JRC, the 161 or 61,000, that's not counting the 14,000 for the metal or the
Correct.
65. So it's either one.
No, so that, you'll add that to, so the 14,000 is for the roof, that he didn't put on the original quote. He gave us a separate quote for the roof, and then he gave us a separate quote for the fence, instead of including it all together on one, like walls or.
Oh, because it's sort of replace the shingles. So
Yeah.
it'd be shingles for, okay, so it'd be one of those prices.
Right.
Huh?
Huh?
Who will?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never heard of it.
He does a lot of work. He did work on y'all, didn't he?
Around 81 for.
Yeah. So apples to apples is 75 and 81.6.
Time frame on starting is about the same, 2 to 3 weeks, before they could get to it. Julio said they're probably looking at about 2.5 to 3 months completion. Wall said they could probably complete it in 2 months. So, if obviously weather permitting on the exterior stuff. Obviously, we talked about the time frame. Really not. I guess we don't have anyone really to move into it. So really, they have until. I mean, I guess next school year maybe we potentially have somebody that will need the property or whatever. So.
You said how much was pledged by the foundation? 70?
Don't mean they won't cover the extra, but they just haven't.
The electrical has been done at the house. HVAC system is good, but the plumbing is not the greatest. But that is included in that. They would repair all the plumbing needed for that. It'd be almost a brand new house. Yeah. $75,000.
What will that house be worth after they get done? Just ballpark.
Probably $1.5 million.
I'm most impressed that he could say that with a straight face.
What do you think it'll be worth?
I'd say probably comparable,
Yeah, probably.
50 to 2.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 175, 185.
Any other questions on those two estimates?
What we can do is go back to the foundation board. Tell them, Mr. Bishop, right? Well, I know Cody and them, they do a lot of construction work. I mean,
So,
have they done,
so you can call, me and Mr. Elder actually did call, Ira. They remodeled almost all of their houses just within this last year. And he said that, I mean, they did really good work. They're new to the housing construction side of things. He did say that Ira was probably some of their bigger jobs that they have recently done, but they said all their work has been really good, so.
I don't know. From what I've heard, some of those houses are pretty bad
Yeah.
shape too.
The gentleman that Cody has heading that up
He's pretty good.
is very
Yeah,
experienced.
Cliff Holmes, if
Yes.
anybody knows him, so he's kind of the guy that kind of runs that construction side of things. I mean, they're both local, they both have really good references. I think either one would be great to, if we had issues or weren't happy with something, they would both jump right in there. I don't think we would have, a hard time with either one of them, so.
we probably need to have a foundation meeting next November to ask for more funds before we can approve it.
Yeah, you can approve either
We
one.
can go ahead and, we can approve it.
Either one, they go.
Run down the district's just on the hook for the overage.
Right.
Which is 5 to
5,000.
11,000.
Which one do we want to approve?
Right, that's the question.
Do they provide any plans, like if they're gonna rip everything out?
It's all right here.
Yeah.
You get the whole thing.
Yeah, it's
There's
all-
actually a massive list
Yeah,
here.
it's 5 pages of.
And you said wall completely replacing the siding?
All the way around the outside.
And walls does include a metal roof,
Correct.
yes.
And then, 6-foot chain link fence around the property, the 3 sides on the back of the 6-foot gate, which both of them quoted the fence, 6-foot chain link fence. I think with the trailer house to the west of that, probably needs a 10-foot privacy fence, but
Put slabs in there.
this is what it is.
You could later.
Slabs.
You could later.
Down the box,
I'm sorry?
You wanna bid on it?
No, sir, I'm actually gonna abstain from voting since I am in that business. I think that would be I think that might be a conflict of interest, yes, sir?
Would you bid the higher than 75,000?
Yes, sir, it definitely would. In fact, it would probably be higher than the 81.
That means the time frame would be a lot shorter though, right?
Well, I always tell people you can have it fast, cheap, or good. You can pick 2 out of the 3.
Fast and good.
It ain't gonna be cheap.
It's all right in my house.
On the bottom half and
You
you
don't
see
live in my mom-in-law's house.
where they.
Church. I don't know. I sound like who?
It's gonna be more than anyone.
Dirt road. Dirt is no sense.
I've done a little bit of business with both of them, so that's why I need to stay out of it.
We have two.
5 or 6. And then you guys can get-
Wall is this,
Yes.
I would
At JCR.
J.C.'s.
And that's roughly the exact same.
We'll just compare it apples to
Scope of
apples, see
work.
what's that.
That'd be 75,000. Terry, do you feel comfortable with wall?
Yes, sir.
What's over there? No, what's over there, you actually have to take the wood out and replace the
Mhm.
wood. The problem is you have to work from the bottom to the top. It's difficult to.
And they put
insert.
different types of siding and they took down, I guess probably used to have brick maybe between the windows when they put new windows in. Stuck windows in and they just stuck regular plywood up and painted it. Of course, it's rotted and all the things, so even to get to that, you're gonna have to remove from the bottom up, so.
And your waterproofing at those joints solely relies on caulk.
Yeah, almost every window jamb and everything over there is all gonna have to be redone anyway. The fascia and the soffits, all that.
Do you, everybody on the board feel comfortable with wall? Carol?
I don't know either one of them, so, I mean, I know Wall, but
Yeah.
I don't know their word, you know?
I'll make a motion that we accept wall too.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second for Wall Construction's bid of 75,000. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Those opposed? 2, and I abstain. Four to two. All right, the next item on our agenda was consider and take possible action on the adoption of a resolution to improve the engagement letter with Leon Alcala for bond counsel. This is a law firm for our bond. Mr. Ellerby, would you like to,
We've had a lot of calls with them, financially, and, they do a lot of work in this region, and they work a lot with, Government Capital, who's our financial advisor. And this part of the bond council is actually basically the nuts and bolts about the election and things. And like it says, no amount's paid, unless it comes to pass, so, it's just an agreement that they represent the district during the bond proceedings.
And this is for council, not architecture.
Right.
Not an architect.
The one we talked to the other day was from Leon Gallo.
I make a motion to
So we have a motion and a second to approve the engagement letter with Leon Alcala. Any further discussion? All in favor? 5. Those opposed? 2. Okay. Consider and take possible action on the adoption of a resolution expressing intent to reimburse expenditures to be incurred.
So there will be some expenditures to pass the bond, whether it's architecture, design, helping with bond planning. Those are generally pretty minimal, but this intent lets the bond pay back the district for any expenses incurred before the bond passage.
I make a motion to
So we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution expressing intent to reimburse expenditures to be incurred. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? And those opposed? 5-2.
Is that one?
Yes.
So the next item is consider and take possible action on the approval of the owner's rep for design build. We are gonna take no action on it, not having an owner's rep already set. Following item would be consider and take possible action on the approval of the district improvement plan.
Fish improvement plan's attached, it's board approved every year, board reviewed. Just some, not changes, but how we did from last year compared to this year. Science improved across the board, social studies improved across the board, which changed those numbers to achieve for the next round. Math went down last year and English had no change. So those numbers were reflective of growth from where we're at currently. And I on the academic ones, which is the front of the improvement plan, I color coded them to just show where we're at for the different subject areas. And this went to our district advisory committee. We got a thumbs up, so. Make a motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second to consider and take possible action on the approval of the district improvement plan. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Okay. Consider and take possible action on the approval of policy review session recommendations and instructions regarding local policies. It says see the attached list.
So Mr. Merriman and I spent that entire day with our policy representative, and it was really interesting stuff. But these are all the recommended policy changes to make practice reflect policy. Those reviews are intended to be completed probably every several years, just to make sure cause what you're doing isn't always, policy, because some of the policies, I think we had one policy in 1980 or something, and it was about prom. So some of that, it just has to get looked at so often to update. This is the update. And if you wanna pull any out individually, you can. If you want to approve all as proposed, then you can do that as well. If you have any specific questions about any of the policies, just let us know. All the red is struck out and all the blue is added. It's to make us current with legislation and to reflect what we're actually doing.
My question is to Mr. Ellerby and Mr. Merriman. Are there any items in these revisions that you would rather us not approve?
No, these were reflective of what we're doing, and that's what we did when we made those.
Simplified and cleaned up some wording.
Y'all good with it?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve.
So we have a motion and a second to. We have a motion and a second to approve the policy revision. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 7.
Motion Blaine, second.
That's it, we'll just get the audit, go and review it.
Are you ready? I mean, we'll go ahead and go into executive session. It is now 8:23 p.m. We will be going into executive session under Texas Government Code 551076. Deliberations regarding security devices or security audits. And we will reconvene before any action is taken. This is how roof leaks don't get fixed.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. I second.
So we have a motion and a second on the floor to adjourn. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 7-0.